If equal affection cannot be, let the more loving one be me. I love that quote. That's from Avoidant, and it's a poem. And it's really nice. And it's a really nice way to reframe the way that you showed up in a relationship, especially if you're the one who feels like you were discarded or you were left or you're heartbroken. You can look back at the relationship and think, oh my God, why did I say that? Was I too much? And feel like your love was too much, or the way that you expressed it was too much. This came up in the Heartbreak Healers Club. In one of the conversations in the chat, and it was someone who was thinking about things that they said to their person who had shown up as avoidant, and they're thinking, why did I say that? I was too much, I scared them off, or something like that along those lines, because it's really easy to feel like you've scared an avoidant off, but actually, when you think about it like this, when you're going into a relationship and you're risking opening your heart, some people are willing to do it and some people are not ready and not willing to do that. You were brave and you risked it. So you were the more loving one in this situation. And we always think that, you know, the purpose of a relationship is to get love. It's not. The purpose of a relationship is to love. And the reason why I say that as well is because actually, if you think about it, the better feeling is to love, because that's being cultivated from in you. You know, even if someone says that they love you, they can't jump into your body, and you can't know that for sure. Like, we don't know ever for sure. You know, even on your wedding day, you don't know for sure. It's a risk. And so the risk that you take is in loving, not in being loved, is it? So you're going to risk it and show up in love. And that's the most authentic way of being. And when you've been in a relationship and someone has shown up as avoidant, or they haven't been willing to risk it, that's them. That's about them. That's not about you. Especially if you were there, ready, willing, wanting to dive in. You're showing up in an incredibly brave and vulnerable way, which was the whole point, for you to love. So it's a really nice reframe that can really give you some compassion for yourself. If you showed up and you were ready and you were willing, you did what you were meant to do. You loved. And that's an incredible thing. And it shows you the capacity of your own heart, even in very difficult times like this, when you're faced with someone who is not willing and not ready. And that's really, really hard. But you can be, in this situation, the loving one, the more loving one, the one who is willing to risk it, and knowing that that was the point. Yeah, you fulfilled that purpose. And moving away from that idea that you needed to get something. This is where you can shift the focus and say, you know, actually the point of this was to love, and that's what I did. And then you can come from wholeness, and anything you get after that is from the overflow, right? The overflow of, wow, this is the abundance of, I'm all this and more, you know? So I hope this was a nice kind of reframe to kind of settle any kind of regret or worry, or why did I say that, or was I too much? No. You weren't too much at all. You know, this is a real deep pattern and feeling that people have, often from childhood, when people were not seen and not understood in their childhood through people who didn't have that emotional capacity or awareness of themselves or other people. So it makes you feel really like there's something wrong with you, or you're being too much. Maybe you're sensitive. Maybe you grew up with something that people didn't know about you and the way that you feel and are in life, and people didn't see it, and therefore it made you feel like you were too much. I know that I've always had ADHD, and when I was growing up, incredibly sensitive to lots of things, noises and crowded places. I hated it, absolutely hated it, being in an environment where people were smoking. I would just really kick up a massive fuss. But then I was the annoying one. I was the problem. And often when I was younger, my feelings were seen as the problem rather than someone being there and saying, are you okay? And it makes sense that you feel like this, which it always did make sense that I felt like that. So I grew up feeling like I was too much. And I grew up feeling like, you know, whenever I had a feeling or a problem or a anxiety, that I was going to become the problem, because very often I was gaslit or it was turned around on me and suddenly my reaction is the problem. And there was very, very few people in my life who would not see me like that. So it's been really hard to untangle that, but you might have grown up in a similar way, and that is one of the healing things, that you starts to feel really lonely, because whenever you go to the people in your life to talk about it, they haven't done the work, so they're not necessarily the best people to talk to about it sometimes, because they might still be in that pattern and they might still feel defensive and they might still feel like you can't talk to them about those things. But you've got to find the right people, you've got to find the right places to untangle the stories, the narratives of your life. And this is one of the things that gets shown to you in relationships with these anxieties and worries of, was I too much? Did I mess this up? Should I not have said that? No, this might just be that pattern that made you feel like you were too much growing up. But I'm here to say that you're not too much and you didn't do anything wrong. You just risked it, which is what you have to do, because love is a risk at the end of the day. There is no certainties, there is no guarantees in going into a relationship. So be proud of yourself, you know, for showing up with hope, possibility, potential, an open heart. You know, that's what you're here to do. So I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like any more information about the Heartbreak Healers Club, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one, I am thinking about opening it up again soon. But if you're interested in working with me and you can't find it on my website, send me an email. If not, then I'll see you in the next video. Bye.